My father, Gordon, leaned over the little white picket fence that divided our property from Tom Pressy's property next door. Tom Pressy, in astonishment, said, "Gordon, just a minute. You mean to tell me that your youngest son, Billy, Jimmy's younger brother, went all through this, all his youth, all his childhood, and you never sought any professional help until he was 21 years old?" Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. Well, what happened with Billy is once in a while he'd go on, we didn't know what to call it, but it'd be like a fit. He'd act like a chicken. He'd start this kind of stuff, and he'd start going at the ground and that. And at very odd moments. And it wasn't frequently. And we didn't know if this was subliminal. We didn't know if there's something from his past. We didn't know if it was maybe a song or a word that caused him to act like a chicken. But he did that. And as youngsters, Joyce, my little sister, and Diane, my other sister, we laugh at Billy. And my dad says, "Stop laughing at your brother." Well, Dad, isn't he trying to be funny? No. That's the way he is. If he wants to act like a chicken, let him act like a chicken. Leave him alone. Okay, fine. Now, the only time that this really influenced anything is when he finally did it in public in front of a large audience. And it was at the school prom of all things. Billy and I had a band. Oh, and it was a pretty good band too. Dopey Mulligan, he was our bass player. He was about 4 blocks. He was born 4 blocks south of Stupid. But man, could he play a bass. We had one fella, another fella. I was the star of the show originally, but I'm not that great a singer, and I can hardly play a guitar. But we had this other guy. And Sergio O'Malley was a singer. He could do anything at all. He was influenced by Southern blues. He could do it. He had such soul, such heart. But he had one drawback. He stole everything he sang. He'd introduce stuff to our band, and he'd change the lyrics, he'd change the music, he'd change the tempo, he'd call it his own. And that was his only real fault, other than the fact that he was bald-headed at 19 years old. Nobody knew he had any kind of an implant or a toupee or anything like that, and everybody thought we looked the same because we had big pork chops, sideburns, and I was more the manager. Okay, so we were at this dance, and we had just played, and everybody was rocking, and the times were good because it was our prom. This was the last time many of us would see each other as youngsters, and we had an intermission, and we started to walk around. Now, I don't know how it works in other places. I grew up in Sarnia, and inside the big gymnasium was everybody dancing. And outside the dance area was a circle that everybody'd walk, and they'd stroll around, and they'd go around the big circle, and guys and guys and girls and partners and everything else. And Billy was in front of me, and I was behind him. His girlfriend, a charming young lady, Kathy, was with Billy, and I was with Elizabeth McHenry, a dear old friend of mine. And all of a sudden it struck Billy's problem. Oh no. Now he started the chicken thing again. And here at Sergio Malloy, he was still on the stage. Now, usually you play a bit and then they have records and then the band was back on. But just during that little interlude before the record's back on, here's Sergio O'Malley playing his guitar, and we made a deal that nobody plays our song that we rewrote ourselves until we all do it together. And he was just pretending to tune his guitar, and all of a sudden it started. And I think that's what prompted Billy to act as a chicken. Now here's something real funny. As the tempo increased, Kathy started doing this chicken thing too. And then Liz McHenry beside me started doing the chicken thing, and the people inside the dance floor saw that and they started dancing. The whole joint was doing the chicken thing. And then I could see the janitor dancing with the principal's wife. I could see all of a sudden there was 5 cheerleaders jumped up on the stage, and they started doing what they put this little gig together, and they were going all of a sudden and what the going on here? This is not a dance no more, this is a movement. Well, we were kind of upset because Sergio had done this thing on us. But you know, it got such notoriety. As a matter of fact, school was out. He was going, he said, to Tennessee, and he was going to go to the Grand Ole Opry. Well, he lied again. He worked his way down there and put gas in his 57 Chevy Bel Air, two-tone blue, with the money he made at bars, bar mitzvahs, all kinds of weddings, everything, doing this chicken dance that we wrote. And it wasn't obvious that he never went to the Grand Ole Opry. He went to Memphis. And he got a job there driving truck. And he paid for the fuel all the way down there, playing the chicken dance all the way down there. And when he had a surplus of money, he decided he was going to do a song for his mom. And he did. And that's when we found out that that little bugger had stolen our song and Billy's song that he wrote for our mother. Well, the way Billy wrote it and everything else, he was kind of an apology for the way he was, and he was saying, "I'm going to be okay, Mother." He changed it to, "That's all right, Mom." He even was so mad that coward changed his name, as if Sergio O'Malley wasn't bad enough. He changed it to Elvis Presley. He went on and on and on, and Billy was the cause of the chicken dance. He wrote "That's All Right, Mama." And Sergio got all the credit for it. And he was bald-headed, because this is a true story. Back at the fence, my dad recounts all this, and he tells all the things like that. And the question that Tom Pressey asked my father was, you know, if he was kind of a disturbance and if nobody really understood him, why didn't you seek professional help first? My father looked at him wryly and he said, frankly, Tom, we needed the eggs.